That building there was a garage. You bought it for 60k.
Yep.
You got planning on it.
Yep.
And then sold it without doing any work and made what? How much did you make? 90 grand.
I think it was about 98,000. What it was is just a paperwork exercise. So we paid 60 grand for that as a detached garage. I got planning on it and sold it at auction 3 months later for 158,000. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. So spotted the opportunity. I reached out to the council and we've done a pre-planning app, which was had a meeting with the council to find out how viable it would be and whether there'd be an agreement of us converting it into a house. And they said, yeah, but obviously you need to meet the minimum floor size standards, and that's why there's the double story front extension, because that gave us just enough floor space to meet the minimum standards for a 1-bed detached house. And so, obviously I put it up at auction and it sold for well over the asking. This when when auctions were just going insane.
Yeah.
Like
it was during COVID.
Yeah, it was during COVID when auctions were just going mental. Shut up! 150. Shut up! No! Why? Jay is so angry. Why is he outbidding everyone? Oh, right, just go to the. It's at 150, Nan. 150,000. It is. It was guide of 90k and it sold for 158, so slightly over guide.
How did you get into planning game? Because that's a bit niche, isn't it?
It was very niche. It wasn't meant to be a planning game. I wanted to do it for myself and keep it. But when I'd done the numbers and got my builder around to quote the refurb on it to do it up, and then worked out the profit versus getting the agent around to say what would it sell at auction and then getting the profit margin was very similar. And I thought, I haven't got to get development finance, I haven't got to go through the build, all the problems, then the market could change in a year when I'm going to sell it. So I thought it just makes sense to sell it now. Yeah. Straight at auction. I obviously can put a reserve on it so I can make a minimum, and I say, right, if I don't make this, I'll just do it myself. So that was the commitment, and obviously it sold at auction. I made a lot of money, and then with that money I've now done 5 houses in South Wales that I now own. Zero more money than this one as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a risk.
So you started with no money, you bought a garage.
Yep.
Flipped it on, did no work,
Correct.
Didn't spend a penny,
yep.
Paid the investors back, and then
Plus
you bought
interest,
5 houses.
And I bought 5 houses with that money.
That's fucking mental.
It is mental. Because the woman wouldn't do it subject to planning, so we'll get into that at the cafe. Outside the property here that I spotted, that I was trying to agree to buy the side garage plot because I believe that we could get another house there. I spoke to a planning consultant and they also agreed that we'd be able to get another house there, but I couldn't agree with the vendor the price of the land. They wanted £100,000 just for their garage, and that's not subject to planning. Imagine I paid 100 grand and didn't get planning, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
So obviously that deal didn't go ahead, but it was an opportunity, and they, it nearly went somewhere.
Yeah.
And the amount of times deals nearly go somewhere, then it doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about being resilient. I've also messaged this house here, because look at the side plot on this one. It's this end property there.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh my days.
Look at the side on that. There's about 30 foot to the side of it. I was like, oh, you could easily put another house there. Then, just on this corner here, there was another, it's actually the front garden of this house, but it was so huge, I sent them 2 letters, never heard nothing back, and then a year later, look what they've just built there. So I was like, right, either I'm giving everyone great ideas, or I'm too slow, but what it proved to me is that I'm looking at the right things. And that the visions I have for things are what they can actually be. Yeah. Because obviously you can't go, I'm going to put a block of flats there, because you wouldn't get planning. So what I see and what I think I can get there, it was showing up.
Yeah, you're on the right path.
Yeah, you just got to be just consistent. You will get the odd one or two. Yeah. But unless you're ruthlessly consistent, you won't last in property. Yeah. It's a tough game, as you guys know. What made me feel like I could get a house on the side of that house is there's a house down here on the corner, and it got planning for another end of terrace property next to it. Mm-hmm. But the house is 9 foot wide. How would you get planning for a 9 foot wide house? Downstairs is just the kitchen. The first floor is just the whole bedroom. And then the loft conversion is the bathroom, because it's that skinny. Tiny slither of an add-on.
That's a whole house?
That's a house, number 2A. 9 foot wide. So I've lettered that house there thinking, well, if next door got it, you've got a garage, surely you can get it. House on this corner here that they've actually renting out, look, they've got a mobile home on the side of their garden.
Oh yeah.
That's a good little one tucked away there. And then just down here is the garage that I sold.
You literally just go around just looking around.
Every morning I'll walk a different street and I'll look for plots that have opportunity, write down the address, download the title deed, send them a letter, religiously. But if you're walking, you may as well be looking, because opportunity is literally everywhere. Yeah. So I'm just constantly looking for it. So just to give you an example, I'll drive down here and I'll feel like, right, that house looks a bit run down. I'll send a letter to them. Yeah. There's a house down here on the corner that's super run down. That I'm like, right, that could be something. That garden's got a big garden there. I think you could build another house on the side there. So it's just constant stuff I'm looking at. I mean, when you just look at the back of this house, look. You look at the flat roof, you look at the windows, and when you look at the door on it, you're just like, right, that house is severely run down. Look at it.
Yeah.
But that needs a lot of value adding to it. So obviously I've sent them letters. Then I've walked around here because there's a park on the corner. And if you look at what someone's done opposite, it normally gives precedent for what you can do.
Yeah.
So like there's a row of flats here, and then there's a house built right out, not in line with the rest of them, which is normally not allowed. But if you look opposite that,
Oh yeah.
look at that side plot on that person's house. Unbelievable. So you're like, right, well, if they've built a brand new house there, surely you could do the same there.
Yeah.
Especially with a side plot like that. So obviously I've sent them letters asking to buy that side plot. So like, what I would do is I would just go for a walk every morning. I'll just walk a different bit of my area and just try and find opportunity like that.
Yeah.
And you're only going to get one in every 100 or something. But I mean, it's just like
When you get that one, it's
yeah,
worth
it's
it,
just
yeah.
being that one. You just got to be ruthlessly consistent. Or you might get really lucky and get loads. Who knows?
Yeah.
But if you don't try, the guarantee is you get nothing. The 4-bed detached house I told you about is down here. You would have thought no one lives there. And it's actually really sad somebody does live there. Yeah, look there. There's a 97-year-old man living there. So I've said, look, as soon as you're ready to sell it, let me know. I'd love the opportunity to buy it. Single glazing, look, all the fucking tiles have fallen off. And the guy was telling me that the side plot, he reckons that the back garden's big enough that you'd be able to put a house in the garden. Drive down the side there, yeah, and build something in the back garden. But whether that's true or not, I don't know. But then obviously you've got all these shops here and they've built houses in their gardens because look, it's 1B and 1A. It's just opportunity absolutely everywhere, but people just don't see it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel like they're looking. Everyone will have stuff like this in their area that they could be finding. Even if they just send, these rundown houses letters and source them on through you guys. Like, it's still money they could be making just through going out on a walk in the morning. They wanted $500,000 just for that little shop, right? Which seems insane, but what it does have is it has this back garden, which comes all the way down here and has these garages.
Oh, wow.
So, the fact that that says 2A, that's an add-on from there, so that's obviously was never part of this street. So you'd be able to build something there. So I guess the hope is they've charged you up for the price in it because they think, right, you're going to get planning, so that's where the added value is. Because obviously you could easily convert those garages because they've built a house directly opposite it.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's stuff everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Let's talk about this deal. Like, how did it come about? How did you pull it off?
So the way the deal actually came about was I told a painter that I knew that I'm getting into property. And it was actually him that said, oh, by the way, there's like a garage opposite me that I think you could probably do something with. Got the number of the woman off him, and then I contacted her, arranged to go see her, go see the garage, and I thought it has potential, but obviously I don't know because I'm not a planning expert.
Yeah.
I've not done this strategy before or anything like that. So that's when I contacted a planning consultant, got him to come round. He looked at it and thought, you know what, you probably could do something, but...
Is this before you offered?
This is before the offer, yeah. So obviously I didn't want to offer on something that I don't even know what I can
Yeah.
get because I couldn't even do the numbers. So before I even offered to her, I said, look, let me get a planning consultant around, see if what he thinks. Because she goes, yeah, I've spoke to a builder and the builder says you can. And I was thinking, yeah, of course he did. Of course, yeah, let's trust that guy who she couldn't even tell me who he was. And he said it's worth 100 and something thousand. I was like, yeah, because builders know, house prices. So contacted the planning consultant. He's come around and said, yeah, I think we could get something. But what I recommend you do is put in a pre-planning app. So that's an application where we had a meeting with the council. We showed them the plans, we showed them what we wanted to do, and we got their live feedback on whether they would be, for it or against it. So we've had the meeting with the council, and they said based on what we want to put forward, they think that it's likely we could get it. So that's just the advice, right?
Yeah.
So that's when we submitted a full application
So, like,
to
there's no
start the
guarantee.
process. They don't guarantee, it's just advice.
Yeah.
But they can say, right, we think you should do this, or we think maybe you should do that. So they said to us, oh, by the way, when we look at these drawings, we think that you should move the window down about 18 inches because it's a bit high. And I was thinking, if they're talking in terms of inches to me of what I need to do on this, it seems like they're pretty trying to help me figure out how to make it work. So then put in a full plan application, agreed with the woman that I'll buy it. And obviously I wanted to buy it before planning went through because I don't own it. So if planning had gone through and I still don't own it, she could hold it hostage because obviously it's still legally hers. So that was obviously a risk. So I said, right, I'll put the plan application in because it can take months and we might need to amend it and I don't know how long that's going to take. It ended up going through just before we completed on it. And she rang me to congratulate me, which I was like, oh no, now she knows it's got planning. She knows obviously the value's increased and she knows she owns it and I don't even own it yet. So she could technically hold this hostage and charge me whatever she wanted, or she could keep it and put it in auction. So that was a risk. But she didn't, she just congratulated me. So then I raised the money to buy it from an investor. So I didn't put any money in myself. Bought it, put it straight to auction. 3 months later, it sold for 158,000. So just a paperwork exercise. Like physically, I didn't do anything. I just moved the investor money to the woman. I got the paperwork that said I own it, and I gave that to the auctioneer, and they sold it to someone else. Just brought all the pieces together. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never done that.
Yeah.
But I just knew the next steps of, right, let's get someone's opinion. Let's do this. It was just always just, what's the next move?
Did you like learn this somewhere, or did you just literally just learn it on the job? Like,
Oh no, this was on the job. This was
Yeah.
a strategy I'd not done before, but it was just quite a simple process of like, right, let's see if we can get something. Let's see what we can get. Let's work out the value of what we can get, and then do the numbers. Because originally I wanted to build it myself.
yeah.
But when the builder come back with the quotes and I realised that I would make the same profit myself as if I sold it straight at auction, now I was like, well, I'll save myself a year. But I did kind of want to get the experience out of it. But I said, right, I'll just sell it now, and then I'll use that money to do buy, refurbish, refinance on South Wales properties. So I've done 5 of them now with that money.
Yeah.
So I've gone from no house, finding a garage,
No money.
no money, selling the garage, making nearly 100 grand, and using 100 grand to buy 5 houses. On a bad deal. I've had worse days. So it's just about creativity though, right?
You like look for more planning gain opportunities, or is it just like you look for anything that work?
Anything.
Yeah.
I always say if there's money to be made, I'm in.
Where can they find you?
So, I was going to say a joke, that's terrible. It's such a dad joke.
What was you going to say?
My house. I can find it at my house. Facebook, Instagram, the usual places.
Yeah.